tricky.
for some online piano teaching, and
It's tough.
I need some online
I think
camera
we have
teaching.
it.
Boom.
I think we have it. Here we go. To me. And hello and welcome to our first episode of the Plank Podcast. And today we're going to have Gavin over here. Gavin, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Gavin from Day of Bliss.
And I am Mr. S from the Pirate on Cassette. So we are here today with Bryce Niemiller from the Elevate Rock School out there. Oh my gosh, his first one. Yeah, his camera is a little bit janky, but that's okay for now.
I'm janky. Good to be here, guys. Seriously. Thank you.
Yeah, this is
an honor.
awesome.
This is first episode?
First episode.
Number one
Yes, sir.
published. Yeah.
What an honor.
Try to get this across
Cool.
a bunch of other platforms and all that other fun stuff. So, first off, we're going to I'm going to start you off some trivia just because I want to see if this thing actually works. And what I have going on is that we have a top five, I think they're going to be mostly pop songs of the last week of February from 1984, 41 years ago.
Let's see, was I 13?
13?
I don't know. I'm not good at math. Maybe I'm better at trivia.
Here we go. So, song number 5. What would you think that would be? Gavin, you get the first shot.
1984?
1984.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, it was a great year. I was 9, you're 13, so I'm just a little bit behind.
I mean,
I just remember they had the Olympics that year. I was in Los Angeles.
Oh, right.
Huey Lewis would be a good bet for any of the top 5 in 84.
Okay.
Heart of rock and roll from sports.
What do you got, Gavin? Throw one out.
Oh, my gosh. Pat Benatar.
Pat Benatar. We have Thriller by
Thriller.
Michael
Oh,
Jackson.
I was thinking
Number 5.
Michael.
Dang, I should have known that one.
And we'll keep hitting those as long as we go along here. But yeah, first off, I gotta ask, how did you want to start a rock school in the first place, Bryce?
Yeah.
You know, that seems just like a lot of work, a lot of stuff going on there, and
Yeah, in retrospect, holy cow! It's a good thing you don't know what it's going to take. I don't mean this to discourage people. Oftentimes, passion will drive us through, but
For sure.
the music itself is hard enough, much less, yeah.
Well, speaking of that, I just side note. Hopefully, I will get back on the question, but music is hard enough without following your passion when you take up an instrument. So, parents, I want my child to play piano.
Right.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, what do you seriously? Not trying to be funny or disrespectful.
Yeah.
You need to have them play what they want. Follow their passion. Because it's hard enough, like Wade said. So anyway, I digress.
Well, precisely, as you were talking about that when you first came down here, is that I got a xylophone in the other room set up because I did the xylo thing down in MMEA a couple weeks ago, and then last weekend as well with the Lake Agassiz Wind Symphony. That's what I was playing with,
Awesome.
at least for that one. And then we started talking about just learning mallets in the first place, and I think we're on the same page on that. Is that to me, it's a way to get scholarships for other schools or get into schooling with scholarships. Because after that, it's like I know some people that have they've done a little bit of commercial work with it, and obviously you hear it on the commercials, but MIDI stuff does it just as well right now, and they might get a wedding thing here and there. I've heard some people play like the Ramada, like the piano player in front, so if they'd play just like a couple of whatever.
Well, that would be cool.
So,
my point when Wade and I were
so-
visiting was, as my professor at my college, whom I still appreciate and I respect him, but he was, as a teacher, you have a ton of influence on your students.
Oh,
and I learned this
because
I went from never playing marimba to doing 4 mallet college material in 2 years.
Yes.
So that points out that what good practice ethic can do.
Yep.
But I was motivated by wanting to please him.
Okay.
But he should have used my passion for what I wanted to do in my life, and that's to be a drummer and a keyboard player and a singer and a songwriter. Well, that's not his wheelhouse.
Gotcha.
Well, as a teacher, you owe it to your student
Right.
to use your influence to help pull that arrow back and shoot them in the direction they need to go. So anyway,
Precisely.
that ties back into passion. And one of the reasons I wanted to start Elevate Rock School, and I love my piano teacher, Nancy Stroh, God rest her soul. She passed away recently. She didn't know what to teach me. She didn't know that Bryce is trying to learn Desperado. I have him playing Turkey Lurkey Doo in the piano book to
Right.
learn to read music.
Right.
But what if I showed him that Desperado was in the key of G, and that's a chord family, and there's only 7 chords in there, right? Now, we know that you can break every rule in the book, and there's modes, but come on, we're talking about the basics here.
That's what jazz is for.
A song is in a key, and if she would have said, Bryce, you want to play by ear? I totally get it. How about you learn to read the music for Desperado, and I'll teach you how to play by ear. Here's the chord family, right?
How to play by ear?
Yeah, which...
Really? Wow.
And
See, that's
people
something I
say,
would
well,
love to know how
I'm
to
not born. I can't do that. I don't have perfect pitch. If I can learn to do it, anyone can do it. Okay. And I'm serious. Anyone can learn to play by ear. I can't listen to a song and play it in 30 seconds.
Right.
I need 5 minutes
Yep.
to find the root. And then I might need more. If it's a Billy Joel song, I might need 2 hours.
Yep.
What
If
about
it's
you,
one-
Gavin? Can you do that
Depends.
stuff?
To a point.
To a
To an
point.
extent. Kind of like you.
I mean, if
where,
it's a pop song on the
takes me
radio
a
right
little
now,
bit.
it's 4 chords. It's 1 4 6 5 or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that, right? But anyway, again, I get excited. I get going, guys. So if you need to pull the reins in
No
any time.
worries at all.
So back to why I started Elevate.
Yeah.
I was gigging in bands for 25 years. I legit wanted to be a rock star, pop, country star, whatever you want to call it. I believed with every fiber of my being that we could, if we didn't give up, we could make it. Now I believe that from the perspective of touring full time now with iTunes, Amazon Music. We broke up before we started to launch music that way.
Gotcha.
I don't think you can make it, get a record deal, make the big time. But I do think you can make it regionally, writing your own songs and so on and so forth. But once I got to the point where I was so tired of gigging and being away from home, I thought, what am I going to do? I have a teaching degree in music. Now, again, I got nothing against teaching high school music or any of that stuff, but it's not for me. I just got a teaching degree because I didn't know what else to do, and that's what my mom told me to do.
Hey, that's awesome.
Right?
Yeah, teaching's
Basically
awesome.
How I ended up in there too. It's just
So again, I love teachers. I respect them. I don't know how they do it. Now I teach as well, but not in the public school system. But that wasn't my direction. So here I am, done gigging, and I started looking at getting jobs, and I'm like, I don't want to go work for $11 an hour.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, what's my passion? How can I share music with people? And I started thinking about music lessons. So I'm like, okay, well, I was teaching this kid piano lessons on the piano that I'd grown up taking piano lessons on. I brought it up here from Selby, South Dakota. And I'm sitting there at the piano, like I have the piano light. I have my pencil out. I'm kind of tapping the rhythm. And the kid said, this is boring.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, you're
Of
right.
course.
You're right. So I wish I hadn't, but I sold the piano. I got my synth out. I got my drum set out, got my guitar out. And I started to try to teach kind of what we're doing at Elevate. I tried to just be a band for them. I'm like, what do you want to play? Bass. Okay, well, I'll try to teach you the basics of bass, but now I'm going to be your drummer or I'm going to be your guitar player.
Right.
And when you practice, play along with music that you like. Now, I realize this has been done before. But essentially, music lessons that I took were going to some lady's house, sitting in the foyer, in the dark foyer by the shoes, going in, playing music they like or trying to learn to read
Right.
music, but no talk of chords like 1 4 5 2 3 6 is minor in any key, right? The diminished isn't scary. Playing a 7 major 7 sus, those are easier than you realize, right? Nobody ever told me any of that stuff or told me that it's okay, Bryce. Reading music is cool and you can learn to do it, but it's also okay to learn chords and play by ear, right?
Yep.
The other thing people fail to tell you is that most people, in my opinion, that learn to read music are memorizing
Yep.
and
All the time.
they don't go much past that and then they quit and they never play again.
Yep.
And you open their piano book years later, they can't do it. Learning to sight read is a whole different animal. So with my students, I'm like, I will teach you to read music. If you want to learn to sight read, here's what you do.
Okay.
And they don't. So if I have an honest conversation with a 14-year-old, I'm like, if you just practice reading every day for 10 minutes, take something that's just within your grasp and play it, you're going to be able to sight read. Just keep going. They're like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, are you sure?
It takes
Because that's
work.
all you got to do. Because what happens is kids are forced to read because that's the important intellectual
Right.
thing.
Yep.
And they're pushed out of lessons and they don't want to do it anymore. They quit. They never play again.
Yep.
So I'm not opposed to reading music. I'm not opposed to classical piano or orchestras or marimba. It's all awesome. If I have a kid coming to me say, I want to play marimba, I'm going to say, well, don't come to Elevate because we don't teach that.
Right.
And I think you should pursue marimba. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Right?
100%.
I'm not championing drums over marimba. I'm just saying that a teacher has lots of influence and you need to respect that and help push your student towards what their passion is.
100%.
Not what your
I
passion
agree.
is.
Damn
Damn it.
You hit the nail on the head there.
To clarify my position with the keyboard instruments is just mainly it's because I just see there's no commercial real value to them. So when you're off doing like what I'm doing, yeah, it's fun. You can show off a little bit while doing it, but past that, no. No. Not saying I don't dislike it because that's the reason why I'm playing in Viva Marimba still, but
Oh, dude, I had some great
It's-
times playing in the marimba ensemble.
Exactly. But
I'm speaking to the greater picture that I took a lot of time. And if he had
Yes,
harnessed
we
my
all have.
passion along with his
Right.
influence as a teacher, oh my goodness.
it's a ridiculous
I would have been
instrument.
killing it on drum kit. And he, even though he wasn't the piano guy, he should have connected me with
Yeah.
a piano instructor and encouraged me and cracked the whip on that.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, of course.
100%.
So just holding us all accountable as teachers that we would recognize the influence that we have on our students and we can really change their lives, you know.
I think it's awesome
so-
that you think about those sort of things.
Well,
That's
basically, you
amazing.
started off as a percussionist, didn't you?
Well, you know,
Or-
I'm from a small town
Yeah.
in South Dakota, so there weren't any drummers. Like, I'm not exaggerating. There weren't any drummers.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to play drums. I have no idea why.
Yep.
There wasn't anything. I didn't see a live band when I was a kid.
Interesting.
We didn't have MTV yet, right?
Okay.
So I just taught
be very
myself to
young.
play drums, listening to the Beatles, right, and the Beach
Oh, yeah.
Boys and AC/DC and Eddie Money, right? And I just taught myself to play. I couldn't get drum lessons, and there were no drummers. So when I got to the University of Marion Bismarck, my drumming friends kicked my ass because they grew up with competition.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I didn't know.
Yep.
I didn't think, oh, I'm a great drummer. I just like drums, and I was the drummer in town, and everyone's like, oh, Bryce. I didn't think anything of it. I just wanted to play.
Yep.
All I had was good rhythm, but I didn't have any. So when I got to college, I'm like, oh my God, these guys can play. I don't even know. Right? I didn't know who Vinnie Colaiuta was. Nobody told me.
Oh,
My parents listened to Ronnie Millsap and
Okay.
the Oak Ridge Boys. I didn't know.
Yep.
I had no way to know.
there's such parallels
You
on
know?
that I grew up in Moorhead.
Just had nothing. So, yeah.
This guy.
So I don't even remember what the question was. I taught myself to play drums. I started playing in a band when I was 14. I think the bands I played with, I didn't even listen to the songs. I just played the songs with them
Okay.
and learned them.
Okay.
Like
What kind of band? Sorry to
Amarillo
interrupt.
by Morning,
Okay.
Taking Care of Business.
Gotcha.
Two
Gotcha.
Tickets to Paradise.
Gotcha.
You know, I
Yep.
mean,
Yes.
and just played them with these guys. And, you know, not a great atmosphere. You know, the leader was passed out into the soundboard. I'm 14. It wasn't ideal, but I played every
The
weekend
bar
and
band life. Yeah.
played every weekend. It's all I knew, and I played drums. But that piano direction, again, I didn't have lessons that helped me learn what I was needed to know. It was only reading music, so I fumbled my way through piano on my own, and just learned more by learning what chord charts were, and
That's awesome. Though.
you know,
That's awesome. And you can teach yourself, really, right?
yeah.
You got a question for him?
Yeah, I do. You might have briefly went over this already,
Yeah, I
but
was blabbing a lot. there.
no, it's
Sorry.
okay.
Oh,
It's
no,
okay.
Sorry,
that's what you're
audience.
supposed to be
You're
doing.
great. That's what we're here for. What is kind of your main goal of your business?
And I'm going to hold you on that while you think about that main goal. Of your
Break for our
business.
sponsor.
Yes, sponsor. It's the top 5 again.
Oh,
Song
boy.
number 4.
Oh boy, I'm gonna say "Jump" by Eddie Van Halen. Or
Jump by
Van
him.
Halen. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Thriller was number 5.
Yep.
Man, it could be Sunglasses at Night. It could be Cyndi Lauper. It could be Huey was huge, and then it could be. That's so hard. I want to say I'm gonna go with Kyrie, Mr.
Mr. I haven't heard that name in a long time. You were almost dead on there. Girls just want to have fun.
Oh, you're so
Cyndi
close.
Lauper.
And I probably would have said time after time anyway. So at least they kind of sound like I know what was happening then.
Time after time. So what was the question?
Yeah. So what's kind of the main goal of your business?
Seriously, without trying to sound full of shit, like honestly, to change kids' lives.
That's awesome.
Like seriously,
Yeah.
like it seems so simple, but had I been introduced, oh Bryce, you want to play by ear? Well, here's some tricks that you can, listen. I mean, I learned this on my own, but listen for the bass note. Find the root note.
Yep.
It's going to be right every time. Every time, it's going to be right unless it's a slash chord.
Yeah.
It'll be right every time.
Yep.
That's the chord. Unless no, I didn't know that. I didn't know what a slash chord was. And then, hey, bud, you're doing Twist and Shout by the Beatles. 1-4-5. What's 1-4-5? Oh, okay. Now I know. And by the way, if you want to transpose, if you know the numbers, you can play in any key. It takes the mystery away. It just makes it so accessible. So I want to share those things with students
That's awesome.
that they might never know.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to encourage them. I always tell my students, look, and this could be an 8-year-old, who's the boss when you practice piano at home or drums or singing? You? My mom? No, you are, kid. You're the boss. You have the power to decide if you get better or not.
Yep.
Nobody tells them that.
Yep.
Right? So it may sound like fluff and all, but it's legit, man. We have a chance to make a difference in this world, or just
100%.
agree with all the BS and be jaded and cynical.
Yep.
Or we can really dig in and try to. Oh, I'm jaded. There's things that piss me off, but
Yeah.
I'm still trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
So
So
that's
basically, you're taking your life's experience and, pun intended, elevating
Wait,
other people with
seriously,
this,
man.
that
That's
idea.
awesome.
that's honestly it. Really,
awesome.
like, and I want to apply that to myself. I want to encourage my team, my teachers. I want to to me, everything that a great business should do should bless everyone.
Yep. 100%.
All right. If you're not a person of faith, I respect that. Then you should give good vibes to everyone. If you're a person of faith, if you have a home run business, everyone should win. I was listening to a live Bruce Springsteen song. I remember what it was, but it was a live gig, and he's like, "Nobody wins unless everybody wins." And I'm like, "There it is.
That is awesome.
There it is."
That's awesome. I
Now,
must
some
say,
business moguls would disagree. Well, they can kiss my butt.
we do
You're
need
doing
more
what you
people
love.
like you in the world.
Exactly.
We do.
Thank you.
Like
It's your
that's
passion.
heartwarming, man.
Dude,
Like
thanks, Gavin. I appreciate
awesome.
that. And I'll tell you what, I need that encouragement because I'm 52. I'm going to be 53 tomorrow. I still make stupid mistakes. And I'm like, Bryce, what are you doing? You're an idiot.
That's right. Happy
Don't
birthday,
call yourself
Bryce.
that.
We're all
You're not an
human.
idiot. No, I'm an idiot. I'm
We're
a
all
huge
human.
idiot. I should be flogged in the town square. But we all need, I try to fill my team's bucket. I try to fill other people's bucket. But just for all of you people out there, we're all leaders in different capacities,
100%,
right?
yep.
Obviously, to elevate as an owner with my wife, Lisa, I'm a leader, but I look at my team as leaders. I look at our students as leaders. So just a reminder for everyone. The people around you might obviously be your boss or someone that's in leadership. They need encouragement too. So
Oh,
if you have a
big time.
chance to fill their bucket,
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
Because they're trying to fill yours on a daily basis, but sometimes they need a little hand up.
Gotcha.
Cool. Well, I'm going to throw
awesome.
one sideways on you and ask about that dueling piano thing
yeah.
that you're just doing there. But first, let's go to another one.
I'm
Song
0 for
from-
2, man.
Yeah, song number
Me too.
3 of the
Oh,
top
boy.
5 in '84. You're close to the Cyndi Lauper.
Let Bryce go first.
Okay, Bryce, what you got?
I don't know if Huey ever got to number 1. I'm going to go with
Now, Hugh always said if he did get to number 1, he knew his band wasn't very good.
I'm going to just go with Huey Lewis, Want a New Drug.
Want a new drug? What do you got?
I'm gonna say something kind of left field.
Do it.
Was Stevie Ray Vaughan around then, or did he pass away?
He
When did
was,
he
but I don't
pass
think he
away?
was popular, like
Okay.
that kind of popular at the
Never
time.
mind. Well, that'll be my guess.
Okay. SRV, here we go. Oh,
Probably not it,
99
but-
Luftballons.
Oh, there it
You
is.
remember Nina?
Nina.
There we go.
Chickens, Dyson Fliegen.
Oh, it's beautiful. But yeah, dueling pianos. First off, is well, I shouldn't ask like how you got the call, but
Well,
it's
no,
just like,
I wouldn't have expected to get the call. So I appreciate the vote of confidence. Speaking of University of Mary, when I got there, Zach Swanson and Josh Christensen were my classmates. And those guys are, look, I can sit down. I can play a groove, man. It feels good. I'm solid. But these guys are another level chops wise.
Okay.
They're phenomenal musicians. And so Zach, they've been good friends of mine forever. Josh is in the cities. He's a pianist. He's a keyboardist, not a pianist. He's an exceptional drummer, you know, with that musical skill that he has. He plays bass, he plays guitar, he plays baritone. He's an alien. But he
Never heard that one before.
he referred me to, and I don't mind plugging John. John is brilliant. His name is John Lee. And John is so busy with his dueling piano gig that he became a booking agent. So John books dueling piano acts all over the U.S., and I would trust him to do so. If you see, and I'm being sincere here, because I need people to support me.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't I support John? I played 2 gigs with him. This guy blew me away. I honestly don't feel qualified to do a dueling piano show. I don't. Okay? He said, Bryce, you did a great job. I'm very happy with what you did. This guy knows probably thousands of songs. He's talking to the audience. He's in. You know, I don't know if you've seen Johnny Home, but Johnny, I actually played Johnny for a while.
nice.
He has a unique way of making every song about somebody in the audience. Now, as musicians who want to play, I want to play Toto and Christopher Cross, and I want to enjoy the song for me. That's just different the way Johnny does it.
That's
And
awesome.
this is what the dueling
There's that
piano is
nugget of
doing.
gold right
It's
there.
amazing. So I felt so inadequate. I wanted to crawl under the piano bench. People bring up songs of request. And I'm like, well, I've heard that song. I don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I had the lyrics, I could maybe play it. Right? So all fine and good. You do that. You try to do that all night.
That is awesome.
It's exhausting.
That is insane.
John's been
Yes,
doing
it
it.
would.
John's been doing it for 20 years.
Wow.
And he's brilliant. And he's like, Bryce, I'm happy you did a good job. You have you're likable. You have the right personality. You engage the audience. You got the hard part down.
Yeah.
He said, you can work on the songs. So I've got like Toto ready, like Hold the Line. I've got like Private Eyes, like
Everything.
hard songs on
Yeah.
piano. For me, they don't want to hear those. So
Isn't that
guess what I'm
funny?
playing? Brown Eyed Girl,
Yep.
Yep.
Sweet
Yep.
Caroline.
There you are.
Yep.
So, yeah, and I get it. I totally get it. I'm all in. I don't disagree with it, but it's really hard, and John's so good at it. It's easy for him. So it was a very stressful gig for me.
So my question
Very
is that,
a lot of pressure.
were you sight reading a bunch of stuff while you're up there then?
Yes.
Okay. And
Now I'm
was that
sight
just
reading
like
charts.
Yeah, like on
Right?
iPads or something? Or
Yeah.
How would you?
Ultimate guitar, right? So, dude, I've
Okay.
heard. You know, I'm a dreamer and my heart's of gold and a runaway, right? I've heard the song,
Right, right,
I wish I
right.
but
had a
I'm
voice.
sitting at a piano. There's 50 requests on my piano with money everywhere by the way of fundraisers, so all the tips go back.
That's amazing.
Nice.
But there's this. John is underestimating his skill, I think, in what he's. I guess maybe similarly, I've been teaching a long time, and you never think I'm a brilliant teacher. You don't think that. You just know what you know. But as I start to train new teachers, and I think about my philosophy and my approach, well, damn it, you know what? I'm an exceptional teacher, and I don't mean to like brag. I'm
There's
just
nothing wrong
from
with
my
saying
life's
that.
experience. That's where I'm ended up.
That's awesome.
And if I don't recognize that in myself, how do I know that I need to spend more time with you to help you be trained?
Right?
If I just think you should pick it up in 10 minutes,
Yep.
and John's like, oh, you got it. I'm like, I don't got it. I'm terrified. And I mean, he must not be lying because I'm doing a gig with him in 2 weeks. So, but it's a lot of work, man.
Back
So yeah,
again
that's
in
where
2
that
weeks.
came from.
Nice. Nice. So that's kind of like a ongoing thing. You've been doing this for a while, or?
I did the first gig 2 weeks ago, and then I followed up with 2 more this weekend.
Wow.
And I looked at it as
Right.
a challenge, right? Because I wanted to just say, nope, it's out of my comfort zone. I don't want to do it. But I
That's
thought
where you need to be.
it could be enjoyable, and it's challenging me to do something I never thought I would do.
Yes.
So That's why I'm doing it.
That's amazing.
Awesome. Gavin, give him a question.
What all instruments do you play?
And again, not to be, what's the word, self-deprecating? Is that
Yeah,
the word?
you can go for it.
I'm not a guitar player.
Okay.
But I love to play guitar.
Yeah.
I think guitar is difficult. If you play a C chord on a piano, it sounds like a C chord. If you play my chord Kronos sounds epic. It will sound epic if you don't know how to play piano, if you hit the right notes. Not the same on guitar, man.
Okay.
I've played guitar a lot, and I think I know from a teacher's perspective how to get better at something. So either every guitar that I have is a piece of crap, or I'm doing something wrong because it doesn't want to stay in tune. So I love to play guitar. I would feel comfortable teaching a beginner because I know what they're dealing with.
Yep.
So like campfire chords,
Yep.
Bar chords, right?
That's all I got.
Yep.
I-
That's pretty much
So
all I
would
got
feel
too.
comfortable and that's another thing I would speak to. How good you are does not affect your level of joy.
Correct.
When
Yep.
I strum, when I play, Cuts Like a
Preach
Knife
it.
by Bryan
Preach
Adams, right? I'm getting joy from it.
Right,
It
yeah.
doesn't matter that I play guitar like Steve Stein, right? Because I would need 3 lifetimes to do that.
Oh my
And I
God.
probably still wouldn't get there. Steve's an amazing teacher as well.
Yeah.
But
He's that alien you're talking
yeah,
about.
so I play guitar, but I'm not a guitarist.
Okay.
But I just wanted to mention that joy that you get, you don't have to embark on this journey to become Steve Vai, right? To become Vinny Colaiuta on drums, to become Celine Dion as a vocalist. I love to sing. If I sang on The Voice, they probably would not turn around, right? But my joy is no different than
I'd be
those
on
singers,
blooper
right?
reel.
I think that's awesome that you
And
bring
I
that up.
speak that to my students as well, that don't let that stop you.
Right.
What the world thinks your talent is.
Right.
This is about your enjoyment.
Yeah.
That's why we all do it in the first place.
Yeah. 100%.
Now, sorry, the question. Did I miss it?
I just asked
what I
what
play.
instruments
So
you
my
play.
primary
Yeah.
instrument is a piano player, not a pianist.
Okay.
Piano player and a drummer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That works. Let's bring you to number 2 here.
I love to play bass.
Bass. Yeah.
I would love
Bass
if
is
my
fun.
worship team said we need you to play bass. I'll learn it. Right? If it's Chili Pepper slapping, I'm not playing it. But if
Yeah,
it's grooving,
I get you.
like I learned "I'll Supply the Love" on by Toto
Okay.
on bass. That was that was so fun.
Bass is fun. It's a fun
Oh,
instrument.
loved it.
Very underrated, I think.
Yes,
I own
indeed.
a bass. That's all I
It's
got.
so enjoyable. Yeah.
But I got song number 2 up here for you. Top 5.
Wah wah wah. We will
not
get it
Blur.
wrong.
Oh,
Not Blur.
Dream On, Aerosmith.
Dream On, Aerosmith.
That might have been 79.
Oh,
or
yeah, that
81.
was way before. No, I'm
I mean,
sorry.
I could be- I
I'm
could
way.
be-
I also didn't grow up in
He's
the
the
era,
Gen
so I
Zer
have.
here. So.
Dude,
I'm
it
more of a
could've been-
90s
Could have been
person.
Loving an Elevator. Okay, so number 2, I'm gonna go with Total Eclipse of the Heart. Bonnie, what's her last?
I can't remember either, but Karma Chameleon by the Carts.
There you go.
Boy
Culture
George.
Club, Boy
Yep.
George, yep.
I remember seeing that video on MTV and going, "What's going on here?"
Why doesn't MTV be MTV? People would watch it.
Yeah.
I've seen a few things about
I've
that
thought
on
of that too.
Facebook. It's just like if MTV went and did like a Gen X version of it, so they just played everything from the 80s again.
Just do it and have VJs and everything.
Yeah.
People would
Exactly.
eat it up, man.
The old commercials and whatever. Oh my God. Yeah, that would be on.
They need to bring that
constantly.
back or some
I
sort
don't
of music.
understand.
Such
You
a
know,
nostalgia nerd.
we got YouTube now, but it's not the same as.
No.
If MTV,
MTV.
could have 3 channels, they could do current, just do their
Yeah.
exact
Yep.
same format. Everybody would be there. They would get every guest they wanted.
Yes.
Yep.
Chappelle Roan, like that's huge, right? I have nothing against Chappelle Roan. I just don't. Pink Pony Club's not my jam, right? And you guys may not have heard of it.
No, that's over my head. But
Yep,
that's
It's
over my
a
head, too.
huge hit, and the dueling piano guy played it, and
Okay.
it filled the dance floor.
Wow.
There you go.
There you
Right?
go.
So I should write that one down.
Awesome. Yeah, there you
I
go.
really should.
Oh, so did I say my guess yet? Oh, I said Total
No.
Eclipse of the Heart.
Exactly.
Oh, you already said
Karma
the answer.
Chameleon. That Total Eclipse
good.
of the Heart. That's a hard tune to play. Oh, we've been working on that
Never
for a
tried
while.
it.
Oh wow, yeah. There's so much emotion in there. If you just don't do it
Yeah.
right, it's just it.
Really?
Well, and
doesn't
it's
make sense.
big.
Yep.
And I wonder back then if they used an orchestra or if they used keyboards, because it's really epic, man.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Really, really off the rails side note, but you listen to like old Nat King Cole or Frank Sinatra, that stuff is astounding. when you think from a recording perspective,
Oh, for sure.
it's just magic. If you imagine there was a room full of an orchestra
Yep.
and a director. And,
Yeah.
Anyway.
It is
Kinda nerd
fascinating
now.
to think about.
That one goes out
love
to Allie
nerding
out
out.
there. She loves that tune.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. There you go. Allie with an I. Took her long enough to figure out where that came from. But, okay.
Well, I'm sorry we're failing on the top 5.
Oh,
at least we're speaking.
that's the whole fun part
naming
about
some
it.
of the artists that were at least playing then.
We got number 1 coming on up here, so we'll finish off the whole podcast with that. What could number 1 be? I don't know.
I got my pick down already.
Basically, I got like a more of a present type question for you. Is that what I've been talking about? And I've been talking with Joe Rudd of the Front Vendors. We're going to be bringing him in here in a couple of weeks as well. But it's about timelines and like the bar band scene. Now, the bar band scene is basically it's been shriveling, what I can tell, and it's not just because of COVID. It's just I don't think that people are just that into it anymore. Since everyone's got their fancy devices and stuff.
It could be.
I suppose I could put the thing on myself so you can look at my great hair today. Woo.
I don't see any gray.
You haven't looked hard enough. But there's been a new type of idea of going earlier, or since you're basically producing the new rock stars that's coming up, is like, do you see this type of shift? Maybe that's the best way to put it, of not playing so late at night or just not being out all night like rock stars used to do. It's like basically they say like the 5 to 10 o'clock slots now are really golden, and they're even talking about like down in Florida that the literally live music will start at noon.
Yeah.
And they'll go till about 8 o'clock, and then they just shut it off.
Yeah. We've
for all the
we've
people watching.
rearranged our sets because people will leave. The third set you play.
Yeah.
We'll play. Start at 10:50. I think the windbreak starts. Have a break, 11:30, come back. And then they everybody's gone by 12,
See, that's interesting.
12:15.
So Gavin could speak to this better because when I used to play the windbreak, 2000 from 99 to 2007,
Yeah.
we'd play 9 to 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was
Still
packed
right.
the
Yeah.
whole night.
Yeah.
And I remember back in the day with Thunder Canyon, the country band I was in, and we were doing originals and we'd do Battle of the Bands,
Yep.
and we opened for 20 some odd country acts, and we were going for it. We would gig some places in the cities for the week,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back
which
in the day.
isn't
Man.
that healthy of a lifestyle, but
It's
we
still
were,
fun.
we were trying to do it, man.
Yeah.
We were going for
Young
it.
and fun.
So I don't know what gigging would. You would know better, Gavin, what gigging looks like.
Yeah. It's interesting nowadays. I mean,
No, because I'm in total agreement with you on like around the midnight hour. It
Yep.
just
it just
starts-
kind
well,
of.
that's weird. Why
yeah.
wouldn't they want to be jamming out?
That's a good question.
We'd be doing an encore it, and they'd be trying to kick people out.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
Oh yeah, it gets that way, but it thins out. You still get the encore people. There's still those.
There's
guys,
still
but
some
it's
people that stay,
not
but-
like the beginning of the night. And
Yep.
I know I just know some people are having a lot of success of just stopping around 10 o'clock. So I know we're playing a show here in a couple of days. You can see it right on there. Day of Bliss and Pirate on Cassette at the TAC on Thursday. And we are starting around 7 o'clock, and that's only going until 10 o'clock. So on a Thursday night, all ages show. For all of you out there, I got to do the plug for us on that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got to come out and see you guys. See, I live
fun.
under a rock. I don't know about this stuff.
Oh,
In fact,
that's
we're
why I
doing.
was wondering if you had any insight on that from like the younger crowd that you're probably
Yeah,
hanging
I
out
mean, I do have students, fortunately, that have been with us from when they were little, smaller kids, and now they're adults. They're in college. They're one of our bands. They're called No Idea, KNOW. They
I have their number.
still play together, but I don't know like gig. I've seen them like they did a downtown show at that RDO, that beautiful outdoor stage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I don't
I've seen
know
that.
gig wise what they're doing. I wouldn't even know what to tell them as far as a gig scene or getting a booking. We used to have a booking agent. We used to do
Yep.
like trade shows or showcases for all the booking agents across the Midwest, and
Exactly.
we used to play across Canada, and I just don't know what it's like anymore.
Yeah. It's
I really don't.
kind of hard to get gigs now unless you know certain people. That's my opinion, but
Oh,
maybe Wade could.
no, I think it's
Shot
just
in a little
kind of
bit.
the same old grind. It's just
It is.
it's just getting
It's
into
fun though.
it.
You
Yeah.
gotta keep it fun. That's the thing.
Well, that's the only reason why I
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Gotta keep
telling
it fun.
Bryce living the dream right now is basically all I do is play. So play, record, and whatever else. Teach. teach a little bit on the side.
Oh
here
yeah,
and there?
recording is another beautiful aspect of music and learning a lot. In fact, we used, back in the day, speaking of pirate on cassette, we'd record the board tape with cassette, and we'd listen to it. It was so fast, it was absurd.
Okay.
And I'm the drummer, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody's going to tease the drummer because they rush. Well, your lead singer wants to rush too.
All the time.
And I don't want. I could get into this discussing how a song feels versus what it sounds like, and the metronome versus.
Yep.
That's a whole nother podcast, I guess. But I learned a lot by listening to myself, and then got a beat bug, which would introduce me to 2 and 4. I'm trying to tell my singer, like, we're 25 clicks faster than the original.
Yeah.
I know it feels good to you, but it's too fast.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. That's like kind of learning, because we do click tracks with almost everything that we
I
do
love
now.
a click, man.
Yeah.
I know
And-
that's a controversial topic, but I love it because you can play around it. You can play ahead, behind.
Exactly.
I love the
You
click.
just make it part of the band.
It gives you freedom.
You do.
It's true.
And there's no doubt. I feel so comfortable with the click versus not, because I know from experience, I'll learn a song and it feels good when I play with the recording, and then I play it, I'm playing it faster.
Yeah.
Or if it's a fairly quick tune, guess what? I dialed it back 5
Isn't that funny?
clicks.
Yeah.
And the tempo, it just holds you on, and I love it anyway.
Yeah, that, and what I've noticed, or at least what I perceive is going on, is that when people listen to it, they want it at that tempo, because that's the tempo they're always
I
hearing
agree.
on TikTok or whatever else.
I
And
agree.
if you're going faster or slower, some people are going to enjoy that, but most people are looking for that perfection now, which I find kind of really strange. I'll have to ask you that after we do this. Like, one last. Well, do you have one last question for him?
I do. What was the last performance, or maybe your own performance that you've played or seen?
A performance that I've seen.
Seen or played? Yeah.
I saw Bryan Adams
Okay.
at NDSU. It was a smaller venue, like 2,000 people, and I was in the front row.
Very cool.
So Bryan was probably 8 feet away.
Wow.
Like, I'm not kidding. On everywhere I go, the kids. Well, I was singing so loud. I'm
That's
not saying I
awesome.
sounded good. I was singing so loud. He looked at me.
That is amazing.
And that was really inspiring for me, because when you listen to artists on the radio, you don't realize how talented they are.
Until you see it.
And from a singer perspective also, he really was, he's a good singer. Try to sing Power of Love. Legit, really sing it. You don't realize how talented they are, and the power that Bryan has, the accuracy that he has. And from a pop rock guy, it's pop rock gold, man.
Yep.
It's amazing music. And then how powerful his voice was, how accurate and beautiful it is, and then his guitar playing. Because this was a stripped down show of him and a piano player.
Okay.
Wow.
It was inspiring. Yeah, really inspiring.
That's why you get
Very
out
cool.
the live shows, kids.
For sure.
Exactly. All right, so I'm going to give you one last question here, and it's just basically, where do you see yourself in 5 years? No, I'm not going to ask you that question.
No, I don't mind.
I just know that one. If you hear that one in the interview, that just means the interview's over, and they're just waiting for you to stop talking.
No.
So, but no, it's a. Oh, I forgot what it was. At least I had a real good idea. But I'm going to ask you this question: is that if you wanted to get back out and play on the road again, what type of music and what instruments would you rather be playing? Like if you got on that bus tomorrow,
Yeah, I think.
what would you want?
I mean,
to do?
if it will serve the band right to do what I want to do, because I want to be a team player. But so I would love to play keyboards and drums. I would love to do some singing in where I'm singing things that, so it could be Brian White, Christopher Cross, Toto. I'd like to do stuff that people are going to enjoy listening to.
Yeah.
Because I think you can find a match of songs that float your boat and are challenging and your audience will like. That's what I'd love to do.
100%.
If I could do that, I would be doing it now. But getting all those players together that are that talented, right?
It's hard to do.
I would do it in a heartbeat. So yeah, music wise, man, if I could
the
sing
dream.
AC/DC, I would do it. If I could sing Jefferson Starship,
Okay.
like No Way Out,
Yep.
oh, I would be doing anything from that to Bryan Adams to Ronnie Millsap. I mean, and current stuff, Michael Bublé to, man, everything and anything. I would do a Jonas Brothers tune. I love a good
Jonas
melody.
Brothers.
I love
Love them.
popular music. Why is it popular? Because lots of people like it,
Okay.
right? AC/DC kicks butt, but they got great melodies, man.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
So, I would rather rock out to Back in Black than the new Jonas Brothers tune, but it's still pop gold.
Yeah.
It's
For sure.
beautiful stuff.
I know what you mean.
Anyway, so I would want to do variety.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go, kids. You can get contact info right down below there. You can find Bryce at theelevaterockschool.com and some other places. I know he's on the YouTubes. Well, not on the YouTubes. Well, he's on YouTube now. But
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I've
Facebook
broken
and
through.
wherever else. But we got to get to our last song here. Song number 1. What was song number 1 this week in 1984? A mere 41 years ago.
What do you think, Bryce?
I'm going with Billie Jean.
Billie Jean.
Billie
Ooh,
Jean.
that's actually a good guess.
I mean, if Thriller was number 5,
Another Michael
Yeah,
Jackson.
Mike. He was at the
hot.
top of the board, wasn't he?
I don't know if you gave me 10 guesses if I could figure it out. Phil Collins was
Can
Phil
I
Collins
give you
was
one
huge.
hint on
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
It's already been said. You guys have already said.
We've already said it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well,
But
said-
that's all I'm going to say.
I said Eddie Money. I said Huey Lewis.
Jump. Van
You said
Halen.
Jump,
Van
didn't you?
Halen Jump.
I'm
1984,
I'm thinking
that's
it was
what-
84, right? Wasn't it 84? Look at that.
Van Halen Jump.
There we go. The one.
You weren't cheating, were you?
Nice,
No,
Gavin.
he wasn't
I just
around.
kind of
Guys,
remember.
speaking of
Oh,
that, I played that at the Dueling Pianos gig.
I just
Really?
put this together an hour ago.
When
so.
you get to that solo and you don't have that synth sustaining, it sounds pretty naked.
Really?
It's, yeah, interesting.
There we go. So hit it on Bryce. You should wrap this thing on up here. So thank you for
guys.
coming
Yeah.
in.
I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much
Gavin
for
Wade,
coming
this
in.
was really cool. I
Oh,
appreciate
This
it.
is
Of course.
awesome. Yeah. So anywhere they can find you,
I mean,
or you don't want to be
Bryce.
found.
No, I'm cool. It's just Bryce at elevaterockschool.com.
Awesome.
There you go.
That's the easiest.
Awesome. Did you have fun?
I loved it, guys.
Cool.
A blast.
Awesome.
Really cool.
There you
Thoughtful
go.
questions. Good time, man.
Good stuff.
Yes. And
We'll have you again.
I'm
All
from
right.
Pirate on Cassette, and we got Gavin over there from Day of Bliss. You can find us at Pirate on
Go see him at TAC.
Cassette.
When's the gig at TAC?
Yep, TAC gig Thursday night, and that goes. Doors open at 6. We go till 10 o'clock, so you'll be home plenty of time.
This Thursday,
Good
I'm
stuff.
going because Wade's going to text me and remind me.
I will do that.
And then I'm going to put it on Facebook, so y'all got to come out.
You can find us all on the Tiki Tacs down to wherever on the social medias and everything else. We're going to put this stream on a bunch of different platforms. I found a new one. No, what was that called? Like Shift or something like that?
Shift, huh?
You heard of that
I've
one?
never heard of that.
No, but I saw a few YouTubers are really pushing that one, so that must be a new one with the kitties and all that fun stuff. But all I got to say is that if your drummer or your guitarist has more charisma than your front man, band may be in trouble. That's why my band's doing just fine. So, until next time.